And what do you want to manifest today? My name's Carolyn, and I'm the owner of Words for Winning. I purchase republished out of print books and bring them back to life. And as you can see from the banners around me, I'm blessed with maintaining Helene Hadsel's legacy. And a month ago, I went to visit her home, collect some more of her library and business materials, hang out with her son, Dyke, meet her granddaughter, Melissa. And I did my last live stream from the hotel room in Texas, but I hadn't finished my journey yet. So I thought I would come back and talk about what the rest of the journey entailed, answer any of the questions you have, and show you some of the treasures that I did get. My original plan was actually to talk about Tag Powell and his book, Money and You. This one right here that has disappeared. Oh, here it is. Money and You. However, it's taking me longer to edit than I thought. So this will be next month's discussion because this is a fantastic book. This is the one that I'm redoing. This is the old cover. It'll be all brand new when I do it. In the meantime, one of the things I had done is I had gone into Helene's and I just did another cursory sweep of her library because I'd only had so much room the first time. And I picked out a bunch of other books. And the reason I also did that was because now that I have been working with her material and going through her library and her business files, I started to get a sense of what I was missing. And I kind of remembered what I had seen on the shelves thinking, oh, I should have grabbed this. I should have grabbed that. So this time, because I had room, I went through and did another sweep. Well, I had lunch with Dyke, and on the way back, he said to me, you know, I really like that book by Alice Steadman, Who's the Matter with Me? And I said, oh, no, you're going to make me go back in there again and look through all the books to see if it was there. And actually, one of the light bulbs had burnt out in that section of the house because there were ceiling fans. And so it was kind of dark. So I just took my phone this time, turned on the flashlight, and really just scanned each shelf. And you know what? I found it. Who's the Matter with Me? Now, unfortunately, I don't own the copyright to this book, so I can't republish it or reprint it. But what I will be doing is I'm going to be reading it, and then some of my insights I will share with you guys on social media, like other creators do. You know, they say, oh, this book, and then you see them plunk the book and show a highlighted place. But she has chapters like, it's all about the body, similar to Louise Hay, where you had Heal Your Body, where different things are affected by different thought processes. So she has like legs and hips, intestinal tract, the feeling center, your solar plexus, things like that. So this is going to be a really interesting book to read. So I grabbed that one on Dyke's recommendation, and you know he can't be wrong. Another book that I found, which I found fascinating, was this one. Now, unfortunately, Tag published this book, but he didn't write it. It was one of his ones his publishing company did, and I love how it says, pick up this book and feel the energy. Like, and then this one was to Helene and Pat. It says, may you always find the energy to heal the world in your own special way. Love and energy, Tag and Judy. So Gerald, this is very interesting. And this, you might find this with other metaphysical and spiritual books. To help you more readily realize the presence of this wonderful force, this book is charged with energy. Perhaps you already felt it as you hold this book. Possibly the energy charge drew your attention to the book in the first place. So this is interesting because it can be for any book. if you're one of the doubters who believes that there's no energy charge because you cannot feel it, just check it out by handing it to a young child and ask him or her what it feels like. In most cases, it will feel as a tingling. How can this be accomplished? Obviously, I did not stand at the end of an assembly line and handle every book. That is not necessary. This book will show you how energy follows the thoughts and decisions we make, and this charge is part of the proof of those ideas. Basically, all I did was decide that each copy of this book would be charged with energy to help the reader become a better healer or become a better person in any way that he or she desires. In my mind, I see this goal achieved, and thank God that it is so. There's enough energy in God's universe to keep it charged without loss, and so it shall be. May you all be blessed by it. Gerald Lowe. That's a good idea. I think I'm going to do that with all my books. How cool is that? And it's actually interesting that he should say that about energy, because I actually had that thought this afternoon, because God bless Tag. I might actually read out the meditation the way he wrote it, but he might have been an author, but he didn't write the meditation very well. And I know this because even though he was a Silva instructor, I'm almost finished my training. I rewrote it. I rewrote the entire meditation just because he duplicated some things and he left out some bits. And I thought, I'm going to rewrite this. So I did. I'll do this at the end. It'll be good practice for me, and it'll also let everyone hear how it originally was in the book. But I worked hours on the last chapter, the lesson 10 rather, because there's still some other things that I'm adding, like recommended reading and things that he doesn't have in here. So I'm making it a more robust edition. And I was exhausted midway through. Like, I thought I need to take a nap. Like, it was a lot of energy just coming through the book and me writing it. And I actually thought that. I thought, wow, there's a lot of energy here. Like, it's like so powerful in my system. I was finding myself slightly agitated, eating sugar, having cups of tea, and wanting to take a nap, working on this book. How crazy is that? Anyway, going back to Helene's, some of the treasures I found were pictures of the property when they first got it. So I'll show you. This is the back of the Delta Sciences. So this is the double wide home, like mobile home, that is where the students stayed. This is the back of their house. Now it looks like it has a dog run there. That's not there now. And you can see there 2 cars are parked under the awning, because in Texas it gets hot. You don't want your cars out in the sun. There's the back of the pyramid. So this was their, I'm looking backwards. That's their house. And there's the meditation pyramid. And this brown building here is like a gazebo, but it's kind of screened in. I haven't figured out where that one is. This is the back of their house. Or sorry, the far side of the house. That's not the back. So the dog run was back here. So there's a shed, like a tool shed where you'd put your garden tools and things like that. And then they had a fireplace inside. So there's the chimney. It's not a traditional fireplace in the sense that it doesn't bump out the back of the building. It's all encased in the house. And there's their wood and their barbecue. And then they had a big garden behind the houses. Like, it's hard to tell, but those are all vegetables. You can tell that they're like tomatoes and beans and things. So the front of the building, I should have put these in order. I just grouped them together. So there's the back and there's the front. So on both sides of the pyramid, so you'll see when you see the pyramid, okay, so there's a courtyard, like it's not a traditional courtyard because it's grass, but see the corner of the pyramid? So there's the deck, and then across. So this is like a gathering area between the two buildings. The buildings are directly across from each other. And I don't know if you can see it in that picture, very tiny. If you read A Man Called Friday, she references Kuan Yin. I asked Dyke about that statue. It's long gone. Oh, well. And then, oh yeah, this is from the back gardens where the cars were parked. This is coming in from the driveway. Now, this is really interesting because there's all trees here now. Like you can't, there's no grass anymore. It's all trees. So there's the driveway. And look how open it is. Not anymore. You can't see anything anymore. Oh, there's another angle of it. So there's the driveway and it comes around. So there is a bush there and it comes around. It's like a loop at the front. So you can just drive around. And that's very cool. So I got to see how it was. So there's no date on these. Like sometimes they wrote on some of the pictures. I think they bought the property in the early 80s because I found some slides. So that was the other thing. A lot of slides. Like this one. I don't know. How can I show you guys slides? I guess I can't. Yeah. That's, this one looks like the Rhine Valley, maybe in Germany. Like this one's August 1973, and they visited somebody's house, but I thought the architecture was so cool. I don't have a plain piece of paper. So anyway, I don't have any note paper, but it's somebody's house. And the architecture and the furniture is so cool. Pat took so many cool pictures. This one is a hotel in, let's see if I have something. Here's I don't know if you guys can even see that. It's a little bit dark. Maybe if I lift it off. Yeah, there you go. It's a hotel. And this was July 83. So I took a lot of the pictures and I'm getting them digitized. And if you go to Words for Winning, you'll see I've started some photo albums because I had these ones digitized. So let me see. There was one that was really good with Helene and Dyke and a friend. This was September 1974. And it says this side toward the screen, which means it would go like this. So I don't know if you can see it, but there's Helene and two of Dyke's friends, two girls. I think he was dating one of them. I don't know which one. And there's Dyke with dark hair. So this is so fun. So if some of them are already on Words for Winning, I've started some photo albums. If you go click on, I did one blog post. And then I haven't linked it yet. I started a photo album. So if you click on Helene on the menu and scroll down, like it'll give you some drop downs. I put Hadsel photos and I've got 4 albums so far. So I have one that I did, some pictures that I took when I went in 2008. So the property that I just showed you, you'd see the difference. And I took pictures of the inside of what it looked like when Helene lived there. And then there's some pictures that I had digitized already. I did like 5 of them with the guy that is doing my Audible, the producer. He also digitizes all media. So, people bring in Betamax tapes and 8mm film and all these kind of things. He digitizes all of that stuff. And so, so what I did is I gave him a few just to see how they would turn out, and they came really good. So then I gave him like a sleeve's worth. And all the ones, so even if Helene's not in some of them, there's different ones like them building the inside. So that house that they lived in was just basically a steel building. It was empty. It was like a warehouse. Not a big one, but it was just an empty steel building. And they designed the entire inside. So, yeah, so it's really cool because they just did whatever they wanted. So they had a bedroom and a bathroom and a guest bathroom, a laundry room, a kitchen. Everything was open concept, and you'll see that in the pictures. And so I found pictures of them actually building it, which was really neat. And then, oh, I wanted to show you this. So if you remember in Contact with Other Realms, Helene wanted to go see Miss Garrett, Eileen Garrett, and she was teaching in France. I believe it was Pôle de Vence. My French is terrible. And Helene learned from Jose Silva the mental texting technique. So if you take the Silva method, you will learn the mental texting technique. Some people call it mental telepathy. Some people call it thought projection. There's different terms for it. I've done some videos on it, on how I've used it, and it works. It's very cool. And Helene and Jose used to use it because in those days they didn't have cell phones. So if she needed him to call her, she would just send messages, thought forms. And then within an hour, he would phone and say, what do you want? Anyway, so she decided, I don't know what prompted it, but she decided she wanted to meet Miss Garrett. So she was sending mental messages to Miss Garrett saying, my name's Helene Hadsel. I will be in Europe at the time of your conference. I would like to come and audit it. And she just kept sending that message. So they're on a European tour, and it's getting close to the date when this program is on in I think they were in Italy, and they would need to buy a train ticket to go to France. I'm not sure how far from Paris or whatever, I haven't looked up where in France this location is, but they would need to get a train. And Pat kept saying to Helene, like, it's getting close. We need to buy tickets. Like, we can't just willy-nilly this. We got to buy tickets. And she kept saying, I need to sign. So she didn't have one yet. And he was pestering her. And she said, okay, she said, well, how much are the tickets? He goes, what does that have to do with it? She said, it doesn't matter. How much are the tickets? And he said, this many lira, because they were not in euros at the time, lira. And it worked out that for two tickets, it was going to be $88.80 US for the two of them to go from Italy to France. Bargain. And he was bothering her. And finally she said, look, let's go have lunch. And we'll go for a walk. And I will have an answer by the time we get back. And he said, all right. So they're on this walk, and she sees something off the sidewalk. And they pick it up, and it's a wallet. And it has no ID on it. And they open it up, and it has exactly I can't remember the lira amount, but it works out to $88.80 US, the exact amount. And she said, oh, that's the sign we're going to France. And I can't remember whether they gave it to the police or they donated the money to the local church. Because there was no way to get it back to somebody. They did not keep the money, but she knew it was her sign. Now, I thought, I thought that was so precise. Now, I knew she journaled, but when I was at her house this time, I found this pamphlet. I'm going to have to take it to Staples. It's getting a little worn out. I'm going to have to take it to Staples. This is the program. Where's the front? Okay, so there's the front. It says the Hypnosis Centers of Southern Europe the American Institute of Hypnosis. It was from August 12th to September 2nd, 1970. It was for 3 weeks. Now, okay, so they went on this tour. This was not a trip that they won. They paid for this. So this was all the details of the trip and who was going to be speaking and going and things. And this is the entire, and I opened it up and it says the complete program and itinerary. Now I want to show you something. You see there's a little bit of scribbling in here? I don't know if you can see it on the camera. Right here. $88.80. Are you kidding me? That's the note she made about the ticket in this pamphlet. Like, what? That is so cool. I love finding stuff like that. So that was another thing that I got. The other thing that was very cool was meeting her granddaughter. Unfortunately, I don't know. We must have had a miscommunication because I wasn't able to spend time with her. The original plan was I would spend 3 or 4 days with Dyke. I would drive up because they're in Texas. She's about a 6-hour drive from Alvarado. She's outside of Little Rock, Arkansas. So I was going to drive up there and spend 3 or 4 days with her and then drive home. That was the original plan. And at least I thought it was. We must have had a miscommunication about the timing or something. I wasn't sure. Or I think she thought I was staying longer in Texas. Anyway, she was working and had plans. And so I only was able to spend a couple of hours with her. But thankfully, the next year's annual National Sweepstakes Convention is in Little Rock, Arkansas. So I said, okay, I'm coming back. We are going to plan this better. And she said, absolutely. But I did have some of the things. So when I went to Helene's the first time, I took like her Blue Buddha. You've probably seen videos. I've done lots of videos. I had some trinkets from Peru when she spent her time in Peru. I had a little brass Buddha. I had some of her crystals. I had her crystal ball. And I was showing them to Melissa. And I said, I think these really belong to you. Because I never 100% felt comfortable. Some of them I really still wanted to keep, but I knew I couldn't. They weren't mine. They were for her. I was just a temporary guardian. But I did keep one crystal. I kept the messenger painting. I have the Buddha from the garden. She got the Blue Buddha. So we did split a bit. I gave her a bunch of the books, especially some of them that Pat gave to Helene as gifts. And they just had to stay in the family. So I gave those to Melissa. And so she has a bunch of her grandmother's stuff, which she never was able to collect. So that was really nice. And we spent some time together and talked. And she has stories. So I'm going to have her on this live stream, not this particular episode, but on my channel. And she says, I have some stories. And I said, okay. And she said, some of them aren't all great. And I said, well, Helene was a messy human, just like everybody. It's okay. So it's going to be interesting to hear a family perspective of her. I mean, we already know that Helene, like everybody's a messy human because she really struggled with her soul contract with Dyke. And she wrote about that. And it's interesting because I've had people email me or message me that they're upset that this woman who was able to, grasp the magic of life and share that with the world wasn't perfect. And she was even vulnerable enough to share that with the world. Because think about it, back in the day, you would never be that open with people. But she wanted to show the world who she really was and say, hey, I'm on this journey. Here's what I've struggled with. Here's my relationships that I'm dealing with as a human being. And she was open about it. And I think it's something that we should be, glad she was able to do, that she was willing to be that vulnerable and share that, I have this like bad previous soul contract with Dyke, and I carried that into this lifetime as a soul. And here it is. And yeah, some people are shocked that she was, but that was, so she had that experience obviously in the 40s, late 40s. And you know, she didn't share that story. In Contact with Other Realms, she wrote that in 2000. So she probably started writing. So her first book, there was a big gap between books. So she wrote The Name It and Claim It Game in 71. Then she had an update in 1988. And then it wasn't until 2000, so another 12 years before she wrote In Contact with Other Realms, when she felt the world was ready to hear her real woo-woo stories. Because if you read The Name It and Claim It Game, there's a lot of woo-woo in there. But I edited those books. I can't even tell you how many times. And I knew a lot of her insights, but some of them really hit me as profound when I was doing the Audible book. And I was reading those, you know, stories and insights out loud. And I was like, wow. So I highly recommend that if you have metaphysical books, and some of them that you like to read more than once, if you're going to read it again, read it out loud. You will hear the book completely different than when you just use your eyes and use your inner voice versus using your physical voice. It hits you completely different. It's amazing. And sometimes you can manifest they say you can use a spoken word to manifest. And there's the story in The Name It and Claim It Game about the woman who wanted a cruise. I won't go over that whole story again. I've got TikToks and things, but I read that story for Audible on a Wednesday. I was doing the Silva method Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And Saturday afternoon, I had a friend text me and say, hey, do you want to go on a cruise? And I was like, what? It was very similar to the story in the book. And I thought, we need to be saying stuff out loud because this is awesome. So in the book, it was 4 weeks from when the woman decided she wanted to go that she was on the cruise. And it was 6 weeks from when I read that passage to when I was on a cruise. And in the book, the cruise went to the Bahamas, and the cruise I was on went to the Bahamas. So it was like, this is crazy. We really can manifest. We just doubt ourselves. We just think we're puny humans. So the other thing she has on the trip, you know, that I was talking about here, go back to this story. I forgot to hold this up as part of that. So this this edition, this of the Journal of American Institute of Hypnosis. By the way, this institute doesn't exist anymore. I did put a preface in the book because I did some research, but you will see here. Okay, so this is in 1971, the Hypnosis Centers of Southern European Tour, Part 3. So I haven't found Parts 1 and 2 yet. But Helene, the reason I pulled this one out, I can't see any pictures of her, but she outlined that. So I'll be scanning this and I'll be putting it on the blog. It said, here's the whole story. Bill Bland, Missouri's traveling troubadour, demonstrated last night at the bar that he had lots of guts and they were all full of booze. He conned an Italian combo into playing Texas songs and accompanying him while he sang mournful ballads about how cold it is in Alaska in the springtime. He was one of the distinctive ones selected by the Pigeon's baptism on his arrival, and that was in Venice. At breakfast this morning, the Hadsels informed us that they were in Venice 4 years ago. Remember, she won that trip. They got off the launch. So remember, 4 years ago, just as they won the house. They got off the launch, began to walk through the narrow streets, and a pigeon with diarrhea welcomed her. The same pigeon nailed her again this time. She spent the whole time in her room. It gave her such a complex. There are thousands of pigeons here, and it is easy to imagine they might gang up on you. There are more pigeons than people in Venice, and the main difference between them is that the pigeons are not toilet trained. If you do not feed them, they punish you. If you do feed them, that just gives them more ammunition. That's what she highlighted. So I'll go through it again and see if I find anything that she hasn't highlighted and see if I can find the other issues. Unfortunately, there are photos, but there's none. There's a good slew on this page, these pages. There's lots of little photographs, but I've gone through them, and some of them have names. There's not, but then others without names, it's very hard to see, like they're, the print quality. It's very difficult. If Helene is in one of the photos, I have no idea. So that's what, right? I just think this is hilarious. But I just think it's so cool that, so I'm going to be doing a whole post and copy of this. And I do have other editions, so I'm going to go see if I can find the other ones. But I just thought this was gold from Helene. So those are some of the things that I've been doing. That was the end of the trip, and I will be going back. So I figured the other thing is next year, since I'm going to be in Little Rock and I'm going to spend time with Melissa, I'm already going to be all the way down there. I'll probably go hang out with Dyke. He's fun. So we'll see what happens there. But anyway, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to wrap this up. I'm going to read Tag's meditation. Now, I don't know if I can add a sound to this. I don't think I can add a background sound. I haven't figured that out. Anyway, there are features to StreamYard, but I do not know where this is. But this is lesson 10, how to reach the alphabetic programming level. Now, this is very loosely based on the Silva method. He even says at the end, some will suggest, no, where did he write it? Oh. Of course, I can't find it now. Okay. So let me just start with the beginning. So similar to the Silva method, the more times you do a meditation, the better. So once a day is good. 2 times a day is better. 3 times a day is excellent. And well, actually, before I do this meditation, does anybody have any questions about Helene or Tag or... So what he says is, now I just think this is so funny. This script can be committed to your memory after reading through it several times, or you may want to take advantage of the bonus insert, which will show you how to record the entire script for repeat use with your eyes closed. In any case, where the script indicates a pause, allow 5 to 10 seconds of silence before continuing. Now, he doesn't outline it as well as I thought, so I have done it. The other part after is the bonus insert. It starts with purchase a good quality tape of 30 minutes in length, 15 minutes each side. Clean your tape recorder head and drive with cotton swabs and rubbing alcohol are some of the tips. So I've changed it to just let people know that they can replace the word tape recorder with cell phone in most spots, and the advice will still be just as good. That's the other reason I love dealing with the vintage material, because they were using the tools that were most accessible to them at the time. And right now, from where we are, as I'm live streaming on, YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram, that, it's it feels so strange. And also the publishing is so different now than it was. Anyway, I'm going to read it as is. So if it's a little bit strange, forgive it. I have updated it so it flows better in the book. But this is how Tag wrote it. First, find a quiet place where you will not be disturbed. Seat yourself in a comfortable chair. Place your feet flat on the floor and your hands palms upward on your lap, separated from each other. Close your eyes and take a deep breath. Take another deep breath and exhale slowly. As you exhale, relax. As you relax, imagine your body is a large 100-pound sack of beans. Think of your body as a large, loose sack of beans. Feel your head, neck, shoulders, and arms as being heavy beans. Feel the weight of your hands and arms as very, very heavy. Now your whole body is a giant bag of heavy beans relaxing in a chair. To help you relax even more, imagine that in a moment, the bottom of the sack will open and the beans will roll out the bottom of the sack and onto the floor, leaving the sack empty in the chair and totally limp. Now the beans are rolling from the sack. Imagine all the tensions of the day being released from your body. All the beans are rolling to the floor, leaving the sack empty in the chair, totally relaxed. Now imagine a relaxing, warm, soothing light starting at the top of your head, flowing down into the eyes and face. The warm night light now flows over your cheeks, jaw, and mouth area. Now allow the white light to flow down into the neck and shoulder muscles. It feels as though someone is gently massaging the neck and shoulder area. Now feel the warm white light flowing down into the arms, elbows, forearms. Feel the tension and energy flow into your hands and out your fingers. Feel and imagine the tingling sensation of the fingers. Now start again at the neck and shoulders and feel and imagine the gentle massaging of the light, relaxing the muscles in this area. Pretend to feel the light flowing down and relaxing the chest area. Take a deep breath, exhale slowly, and relax. As the breath flows from your chest area, feel your body relax. Now feel the relaxing light flow down into the stomach, hips, down to the feet, and out the toes. Relax. Feel the tingling of the soles of the feet. The toes are relaxed. You are now at a relaxed, wealthier level of mind. At this wealthy level of mind, you can enjoy and know all the riches you deserve. At this level, you may review the power phrases for riches and increased wealth. I deserve my riches and enjoy them. Every day, I become more successful in my money dealings. I think rich, therefore I am rich. I deserve to be rich. I always look and feel wealthy. I take extra time in grooming and it always pays me richly. I always have more than I need. I always receive great value for my money. I pay my bills promptly and joyfully with my unlimited supply of money. I make money every minute of the day or night, even when I sleep. Every investment I make is successful. I have abundant creative ideas which make me wealthier each day. I now enjoy my life and my wealth, for my funds are unlimited. I live in a world of lavish abundance that I deserve. Riches are mine now that I have set my goals. I have unlimited funds in my universal bank account. I know that every day I'm improving my self-worth both mentally and financially. The time for me to become wealthier is now. Now take the time to imagine what you are going to do with your new wealth. See yourself and your loved ones enjoying the fruits of your riches. Relax. Now imagine your future successes, your future goals completed. Your 1 month goal. Relax. Your 6 month goal. Relax. Your 1 year goal. Relax and enjoy. Every day, in every way, you are becoming wealthier and wealthier. Each time you enter these alphatic levels, you will increase your talents, your health, and your wealth. Your honest and loving nature will bring increasing abundance in all things you desire. It is now time to return to the here and now. Feel your body becoming alert and relaxed. Feel rested as if you have had a perfect night's sleep. Now open your eyes now and enjoy the world around you. Smile. That's fun, right? So that's the meditation, but I've updated it and I've changed it because a couple of things, like in some spots he says the and it should be your. And in some places he put my and it should be your. So and then he talked about the sack being empty and then beans spilling out and the sack being empty again. And I'm like, no, it has to. So there's like little things that I fixed. Overall, I think it's great. I love, love, love the power phrases. I did not change any of those. You can see they're in like a fat font. And I think they're great. And the other thing I'm doing is, so you're going to do like, this is a workbook where you do tests and things. I'm making a PDF for people. Right he shows you how to have an unlimited check. And you're supposed to tear it out of the book. So he made that page like blank on the other side. I'm like, oh no, we can't do that. So what I did in this case was I'm making a free PDF. So if you buy the ebook, obviously you're not going to be able to write. And if you, I'm eventually going to make it Audible, and you might not even want to write in your book. And then I'm going to do a bunch like that check. I'm doing a bunch of different styles. So I'm going to make a PDF with like 10 different checks and all these different things that you can just print out that you want and then just have them. So you don't actually have to write in the book if you don't want to, because some people don't like to write in the book. And then if you buy the ebook, I don't want people to feel like they missed out. But so a little bit of Aline, a little bit of Tag today. And next time, I don't know how long it'll take me to get printed copies from Amazon though, but I'll be able to share the new cover. So I hope you enjoyed that. And next month, it's going to be all about Tag. I'll be showing you all of his books, and I know a bit more about his journey. Unfortunately, by the time I met him, he'd already had his stroke and his brain was a little bit Swiss cheesy. So that makes me a little bit sad, and I'm trying to meet people that knew him. But, so I'm going to go, one of the Silva sessions that I'm taking will be with Ken Casilla. He is one of the last Silva instructors that trained with Jose that is still teaching. And he knew, I wrote him, and he knew Tag and he knew Helene. So I definitely want to spend some time with him. And I actually want to take the Silva method from him. So I'll be doing that hopefully later this year, because the 2 times he's already had it, the timing has been terrible for me. So I'm hoping the next one, fingers crossed, I will be able to go to Connecticut and meet him and take the Silva method with him and talk to him about, Tag and Helene and all that. So fingers crossed. And in the meantime, if you have any questions about manifesting, Helene Hadsel, any of the books, anything like that, just free to email me at questions@wordsforwinning.com. And of course, I want you to follow me here as my adventures get bigger and better. So follow me if you're watching me on Facebook, like the page. If you're following me on YouTube, subscribe to the channel. And if you're watching me on Instagram, follow me there. So until next month, and we'll see how much I manifest the next 30 days. Exciting stuff. Let me know what you're up to.